This is Melissa Ford-Luckin.
Rosalie Petrowski.
Susan, Seraph, and Jess.
Editors for the Washington Square Review.
Washington Square On Air
Showcases the poetry and fiction
Of the latest edition of LCC's literary journal,
the Washington Square Review,
read by the poets
authors,
and editors themselves.
expect the unexpected,
as our contributors express
Experience and fantasy with humor,
imagination,
poetic license.
irony,
and passion.
If you love language,
at its most original.
Please join us in our audio town square
to celebrate a community of writers
Spanning from around the world
to Lansing.
Hey there, this is Melissa Ford-Luckin, editor of the Washington Square Review. I'm here today, though, as a faculty person with 3 students from my Composition 1 class, Yaretzi, Caylee, and Layla. Yaretzi, why don't you tell us your LCC story? How did you get here? Where were you before?
Okay, well, I went to Eastern High School, and if any of you guys know, the old Eastern High School, I went there from like 7th, 8th, up until freshman year. I'm not gonna lie, like 7th grade and 8th grade, I was like, get good grades. Like, I was so serious about everything. I have an older sister who used to have really good grades, so she was like my idol. Like, I wanted to be like her. And then freshman year, when COVID started, that's when I like flunked a class. I was not doing
I feel like everyone
good.
struggled during COVID though.
Yeah.
That was like the hardest part. I feel like for everyone. Like
Right.
learning to like cope with being online and alone and like isolated from everyone and just like sucked.
Yeah, God, I hated it because you just be like sitting in a computer and you want to see their faces, and it's just like, oh no, it's just a circle with their name below it, and it's like, oh, this is not fun. And then sophomore year was my worst year. I was laying in bed the whole time. I was not paying attention to class. I didn't want to do any of it. My grandfather recently passed that year too. Like, my quinceañera, it had to be postponed. Like, a lot of stuff happened, and that was just not the greatest year. And then it was junior year that we got back.
Going from that to junior year was like so terrible.
It was
like
horrible.
Like junior year is like the worst year, I feel like, for like high school students. So jumping right into like SATs and stuff like that, and like SAT prep was like terrible. Oh my God.
I tried talking to friends, like they didn't respond. Like, we were just on our own. It was bad.
A lot of my friends had like dropped out, so junior year was like, it was just so lonely and like, damn, like but also that's when I first started going to the Wilson Talent Center, so it was a lot different and I got to like have more experiences.
So, Layla, you went to a different school. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the school you went to?
I started in Everett, and then I learned about the Wilson Talent Center about 8th grade before high school, and I really they did a great job at showcasing all the programs. I knew like from the bat I wanted to go to new media because I loved art and that was my goal. But I thought you had to pay for it, and I like spoke to a teacher about it, and she was like, no, you don't. And that was it. I applied, I got accepted. I was so excited, and I went for both the years I was able to. In my senior year, I took 2 programs, and that was all I had to do for my senior year. So coming back to college and doing math classes and stuff like that was like, like an eye-opener. So.
Caylee, tell us a little about your background. How did you get here to
I
LCC?
mean, I came to LCC because of the Lansing School District Promise Scholarship, so Lansing Promise.
Yep.
And I just got here just like for free years, so like might as well, at least start with like the 2 years. Yeah,
right?
something to like put like my toes in like the water, like see what it's like. But I got here. I went to Everett before, just like Layla, but I didn't do the Eastwood Town Center thing. I was just a boring little girl, I guess. But no, I just stayed at Everett, and I was there from 7th through 12th grade at Everett.
Yeah.
So I was there for like a very long time. So like, I mean, I guess it was very weird. And of course, they get rid of the 7th and 8th graders when I leave. So, so like that was just like a shock going from like middle school to basically like a high school. That was like immediate like shock. Like, yes, we were like separated from them, but like even like walking in the halls, you would still see them. So it was very like intimidating for me.
How do you think that affected your learning?
I feel like it actually has helped with like college, and like because like since we've been presenting like in class with that, I feel like that has definitely helped. Only like the project base is just like presenting is the only thing that helped. The learning aspect of it, like English and stuff like that, No, like in my ninth grade year, I didn't even have a geometry teacher, so I didn't even learn geometry. So that was like amazing.
Yeah, I was my freshman year. I had this geometry teacher. I didn't learn anything.
Why didn't you learn anything?
Because, first of all, she didn't actually teach. She just gave us notes, and then she gave us a paper, and then she'd tell us the answer. She was there for 1 year, and then the reason why she got, I think the reason that she got fired was she gave comments about using deodorant and like don't do drugs or don't do sex and don't do this, like stay safe. I was like, this is a math geometry class, like actually teach us something.
When I'm listening to you guys, I'm thinking about how there's so many disruptions, right? So you have a teacher who's coming and going, and then you have COVID, and that's a disruption. Talk a little bit more about COVID, because it seemed like that was a bad experience all around.
Well, for me, I mean, coming back because the 7th, 8th graders were still there. The 7th graders coming back like my junior year, the 7th graders, last time they were in school was 4th, 5th grade. So, like, they were just, like, chaos. Like, when I'm, like, chaos, like, all in the halls, they would just be, like, everywhere, just like running the halls, and I'm like trying to get to my class. It was terrible. Like the kids that haven't been in school like have like no manners or like anything. They went from being like the first, second year being in like middle school to like a high school, so they don't know any like thing about like what it's supposed to be like, you know? And they're just like kids like everywhere. Like I just want to like push them and just be like, get out of my way.
Oh yeah. I feel like coming back from COVID, it was like very difficult to concentrate, and like you could tell a lot of the students they could not sit still because like having that freedom before and being able to do everything online, then coming back to a class where they're like, sit here, you have to ask to use the bathroom, you have to ask to go get water,
get off
like
your
that,
phone. Like I'm used to being on my phone during
like,
class now. Like
like you got to kind of understand that like everybody's coming back now, and they need a little bit of flexibility, because that was like a lot to go through for everyone, and the teachers were just, I mean, it was a lot for them too, so I feel like it was just a really bad time for everyone.
I like Everett, like after like the whole COVID thing, they didn't have any mental health services like at all. I mean, maybe they did, but like they didn't like advertise it. I feel like a lot of people could have used like those like services, like the mental health services, but like since there was none, or like they weren't advocating for it, there's no reason, like there's no way for
Eastern
it to be
always said that they had a like counselors that you can talk to, you have problems, like way before COVID. None of us knew about it. We didn't trust the counselors.
Like,
and then
trust
COVID was like, oh, we actually have this, like we care about your mental health and blah blah blah. And I was like, no, you're not. You're only taking this serious now because there were actual kids going through real mental health problems, and they only noticed it now when it's been happening for like years.
I've had mental health issues for like my whole life, and now they're making it, so it's just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
something I'm wondering about is, it sounds like you guys had an experience where you lost trust in like authority and people that were supposed to help.
Yeah.
So did you help each other? Did you turn to the internet for help, like when you needed support or information, either like how to do the internet online coursework or how to get mental health services, or just to get out of the isolation?
I feel like for me, it was just good to like talk with my friends. Like I remember I used to be like so shy, but like being isolated, and then going back to school, I just came out of my shell and just became like, I really don't care what anyone has to say. Like I'm not going to be shy anymore. Like I'm just going to be who I am, you know? So
the only thing that got me through COVID was my mom and this one science teacher that really, I feel like a lot of teachers also struggled during COVID because they had to know about like being a computer, like learning about all that stuff like online that they didn't know how to work. But there was this one science teacher that really wanted us to still learn about like in the class, like still communicate with each other. So she was my rock. She was great. She was awesome. Everyone else just kind of sucked.
So sometimes though, just one person will make a big difference.
Yeah, I feel like the way like some teachers like teach, I feel like can have like such a huge like impact.
It can.
Yeah, or like how like they care, just like, or if they're just like goofy or just like
like
it's
they're
just
not
like how they teach, like so serious about like certain things. Yeah, because I feel like the teachers who are like the most serious and just like, okay, we have to do this has to be due on time. This has to be due on time.
Oh, no,
I feel like it's just like that's when like you just lose like your like passion for like learning. Yeah.
Layla, how'd you get through it?
Oh man. Oh well, we were talking about teachers like not handling things. All I could think about is my last English teacher actually. It was the year my mom had passed away, which I'm pretty sure was like my junior year. I just like explained to her what happened and like, is there a way I can make up my assignments? And she was just like, no, that's too bad. And I was like, bro, my mom, like, like, are you serious? And then I talked to my family about it, and they were talking about going and taking it up with the school, but kind of like nothing really ever came from it. And I just thought that was really like cruel of her to do. So
Yeah.
I actually learned a lot from her class, but like as a person, she seemed very messed up. So like, but no, for COVID wise though, I've had the same best friend for like 6 years, and I've been with my boyfriend for 5. So I've had the same support system for very long time.
So let's talk a little bit about the writing that you did in high school and the way it did and didn't carry over here and into LCC. So I'm wondering, what kind of stuff did they tell you would be writing, and does that match up with what we're doing? Like, how did that fit together?
Like writing, they always tell us you're going to be doing all of these essays. Like, you know how in your class, like on the first day, you wanted us to do an I essay?
Yeah.
all of
No
our
I.
teachers were like, no eyes.
Yeah, the last time I wrote like an I paper was in like 3rd grade.
Yeah. No, they were like, most of my writing, like in English classes, were just essays on like articles and
Or like
stuff.
history.
Or history.
Yeah, because like I
stuff.
had like a because since I was a new tech, I had block classes, so like my English and my history were together. So a lot of like my papers were on like history sometimes. I'm just like, well, this is just great.
But yeah, no, I didn't do a lot of writing throughout high school besides my senior year.
Yeah, same. I feel like my senior year of high school, when my teacher didn't leave, she ended up leaving and got a job at LCC, which is kind of funny. Anyways, but when she was there, it was beneficial for me because like she had us read a research paper, and she had us like do different steps like for a research paper, because like she's like, okay, you're gonna need to like write a research paper for like your college class. So
Yeah.
and then the essays that we did, I feel like helped a lot because she like graded them like very like hardly, not in like a mean way, but like graded
in
them
a
good way, like to get us ready
Yeah.
for like college, which I
Okay.
think that was like the only class that helped me. Yeah.
Layla, what about you?
Junior year, same teacher. Like I said, she actually was a really great teacher. I learned a lot, like grammar and things like that. She would have us do online assignments, and it was irritating sometimes because it would be very specific.
Just like
and,
the math homework.
Yeah, and it wouldn't make sense. Like, oh, I don't think that's right. And even she would be like, yeah, no, that one's not right. And so, but I learned a lot, and I've always had my grandmother help me with my papers, like look over them and tell me what I should change, or like, of course, that I've always had grammar issues.
Right.
But she even said like that year until now, like I've just been like going up and up and up, and I've been doing a lot better with my writing. And I like that because, I really enjoy writing. So hearing that from somebody who's great at writing means a lot. So
Writing is always a gradual process. Your whole life, you'll be learning new things and changing. I do laugh when people talk about the I, because I know that a lot of students, come to campus I'm like, well, I know you've been told not to use the I, but we're going to be,
the way like it was just so much easier to put yourself into like the essay, because like I can now easily like putting myself in the position is just so much easier to just free write.
Yeah, there is a lot of controversy and discussion about the use of the I voice in the academic essay.
Yeah.
I love the I.
I love the I too.
Yeah. Talk about one of the papers that you've written.
Well, the first papers that I wrote was like when I talked about dancing. That was one of the papers.
That was our personal narrative.
That's I didn't mind about dance too.
So since it was an I paper, I just kind of wrote like what I remember.
What about the second one?
The second one was about teen drug abuse. If you go to Eastern, if you go to any bathroom stall, it will literally smell like weed or marijuana. So doing that paper, I've seen some of my friends and like a lot of people, not like family, but mostly friends that I know that do drugs. So writing that paper, we had to like ask the person, like, how do you feel about this? Like, I've never done drugs or anything, so.
No, I get that. A lot of my friends, same thing. And it's crazy because we've all like grown up around like drug addicts or been in the trap house. And it's like, how are you still going to turn to drugs after you've seen what it turns people into.
It was hard because I remember like being in 7th grade and they'd be telling you like in health class not to do these drugs,
And
then
they
you
just all turn to it.
Yeah, and they just all turn to it. Like they look at the video, like they'll show you videos of people that do drugs and then all the health problems that they went through, and they're like, oh, that's gross. But then they ended up doing it. So if you find it gross, why are you still doing it? That was the one thing on my paper. I was like, why
I feel like it
are
could
you
be like
doing it?
peer pressure too, because if like your friends are, like or if you're around like people that do it, I feel like you could feel like you have to do it to fit in.
Yeah.
At times.
I feel like a lot of my friends, it was just mental health, which is the
Well,
saddest part about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching them turn to that because they didn't have anyone and still trying to reach out, and it was just like there's nothing.
None of my friends really
anymore.
pressured me to do drugs. Like my mom always told me, like if anyone pressures you to do drugs, then they're not your friends.
Oh yeah.
So I can see why you picked the topic. It means a lot to you, and it sounds, listening to you, it sounds like you wanted to get some understanding on it.
Yes, because some of my friends have like really mental health problems, and they went through a lot of stuff like in their family, not so much in the school, but mostly in their family, and it was hard for them. So I feel like the only way that it could turn to was using drugs, and then sometimes friends. So I was like, it was hard. It was hard seeing them do it because I know like if they kept doing, like it was just gonna keep getting worse, and it did get worse. So
did writing the paper give you clarity on some part of it?
Part of it, yeah. But I'm still like, shouldn't be doing this. Like you should have some actual support. I feel like if you were to ask a person on why did you want the reason why they use drugs or how they use rest, it only gets rid of that one moment, and then it just keeps on going. So that's why some of them get addicted to it, because it's just they use it once or twice and you don't remember like
I
any
think a
of the
lot
bad
of people
stuff.
then just build like a tolerance, like a tolerance
yeah.
of it. Yeah, or like some people just like it makes them more like focus on like why they're doing it.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Caylee, tell us about one of the papers that you wrote for class.
The first paper was the I paper. I wrote about the reason why I had to quit dancing at studio because of my anxiety, and how that like the dance teacher was not supportive of me because of my anxiety, and basically didn't want me doing it because like they didn't think I was able to do the outside performances because of my anxiety, which hurt because I've been dancing since I was like 4 years old.
Oh wow.
So, like, knowing that, like, I wasn't good enough, like, to do something that I loved doing just, like, broke my heart. But luckily, at Everett, they had a dance, like, elective. So that actually helped me continue to grow my love for dance.
The dance room was so cute.
Did writing the paper help you sort out some part of the experience?
It brought back trauma. No, I mean, it just made me reflect on how much I've grown as a person with anxiety. It made me think about how much stronger I have became with it. That's just what, like, I guess I got clarity from it, just knowing like how much of how much I've grown and how much stronger I've gotten with having anxiety.
That's beautiful. That's an endorsement for the I voice. Like, yes. Hey, Layla, tell us about one of your papers.
The first one I did was on like being a person that's kind of like alternative and wears like dark clothes and has all these piercings and things like that, and kind of all the stereotypes that come with it. The first piercings I got were snake bites, which are the two on the lip that like go through the bottom of your lip.
You're so cool.
And I got it when I went to Florida because, you know, I'm from there and my family wanted us to come out for me and my dad's birthday. And man, I was so excited that my dad was going to take me to get those done. And from there, it's just been more and more and more. It's like I'm scared to do tattoos because it's going to be infinite, but
At least you can take out the piercings.
yeah. But it's just like the way people treat you when you just look different from what their idea is, which is just kind of like boring and like you wear what everybody else wears. Then they just always make up these things about you. They're like, oh, you're gonna steal something. Oh, you're a criminal. Oh, you're this, you're that.
I hate those stereotypes. I absolutely hate those stereotypes. If you see, like, there's so many actors and musicians out there who have tattoos, who have piercings, and it's like, just because you have a tattoo or piercing does not mean that you're gonna rob a place or that you're gonna kill someone.
No, yeah. When we moved to Mason, and you know, my boyfriend, he's you know, mixed mixed and stuff like that. And we'll go into the farm stores, and man, the first time we went in one of those stores together, I was so nervous. I'm like, all these people, you can tell, and it's just like, you know, are we gonna get like hate crimed or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, I know we have each other, but like, you know, I look like this, and you know, he's, you know, just
He's
how
not
he
white,
is, yeah. And it's like, and that's enough for everyone there to hate you. And you know, one time it was a different farm store I went into with my grandmother, and then that's when this lady, like, I was just looking around when my grandma was somewhere else. I think she was like in the bathroom, and this lady just like starts following me around the store, and I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, I see you, you're not like
you're not slick.
no, yeah. And it's just like, that's been a constant, and it's like, you know, I'm getting used to it, but I feel like people definitely shouldn't have to.
Yeah,
so.
shouldn't. Yeah.
So did writing the essay give you a sense of closure or reflection? How did that help you process all that?
I like writing the papers because I feel like it's a good way to inform people, especially if somebody's reading it who does that to people, kind of understanding the other side of it, like how you're affecting people that are like this, like why are you doing it, and like, you know, I like to try to like kind of inform people of what it's doing. So yeah.
All right, so this makes me think of a question. What do you think that people need to know about the life of a college age student? You know, like that they have this vision of what you the college students, what your daily life is. Mm-hmm. So where do they get it wrong? What do they need to know?
The party. I feel like like the universities probably party with me. Yeah. I just like to focus on my education. That's just me.
Yeah, there is a stereotype of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like maybe if I went to university, maybe I would go out once or twice.
Yeah.
But not like every weekend, because like I like to focus on my education.
One stereotype that I've it's like they always expect you to be good, like to be easy, to be simple. Since it's your first year, it's like they don't expect a lot from you. But I feel like a lot of schools do expect a lot of you. Like I've seen videos of like freshmen like staying out late in the library doing all of this work, or like working from like until their class finishes up to like 12, and then they go home or to wherever they live, and then they study, and then they wake up like really late and they're just tired, like they're burned out.
As I'm listening to the things that you guys have, you know, experienced and that you're frustrated with and, you know, complaining about justifiably, they all seem to be things where you were trying to get the task accomplished so that you could move forward. Mm-hmm. You wanted to know what was expected of you. You want to know what the process is. You want to understand it so that you can do your part to it to make it happen.
I feel like right now they expect you, like if you go to college and you graduate and you have all of this, like you'll be set, like you'll be fine, like you don't have to worry about anything. But once you graduate, like from college or from university, like a lot of people end up in debt, and then you have to go into work, and then you have to worry about
taxes. You have to find the job first.
You gotta find the job, and then you can worry about the rest. But I feel like they just have so many expectations for you. I feel like they have a lot of expectations.
So stressful.
Yes.
Going into like from like high school to college, like you're expected to know when the work is due. You're expected to put the work in. You're expected.
Like for me, it took us like a week or two to actually start getting the work done. But going into college, it was like, oh, okay, I already have this paper that I have to start to work on there.
Mm-hmm.
Have to
there's
make
no
sure,
like easy way.
Yeah. Like hi. There's no like hi. My name is Yaretzi, and I'm gonna like introduce myself, or like
which I don't know why I didn't expect that, but at the same time, just like wait, what? Like I didn't expect it to be like easy, but at the same time, it's just like now like living through it, it's like whoa, like
like we're almost done through our first semester, and it's like I didn't expect it to go that. It went by so fast. I didn't.
Just like how you were saying.
I told you guys it would go by fast.
When you said yesterday about it's like a lifetime ago reading Chinatown, I was like, it does.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that book, by the way. I'm definitely gonna try to put people onto that though. I was watching a show the other day where like something kind of like, you know, like racist was happening in the show, and I was like talking to my family member about it, and then I brought up the book. I was like, I just really enjoyed that book. I own the audiobook now too, because I have to listen to the audiobook and go along with the book to understand. That's what I had to do like the whole time.
That's what I feel like when reading for like school, I have to like do an audiobook or like read out loud to myself, or else I can't comprehend it because it's for school. But if I'm reading on my own, I'm like chilling.
No, it doesn't click. I don't know. I have to listen and read it, or it just won't work for me.
Yeah.
So.
In order for me to like, if I were to read a book, I would have to read it out loud and then repeat the sentence at least twice so I can like remember it in my small brain.
Yeah, like reading Chinatown, there was sometimes I had to reread like the whole page because it was like confusing.
One of the chapters, like the longest chapter, I think it was chapter like
God.
5 or 6 or 7.
That chapter, I was just like, okay, you know what? Let me just go to the next page. Like, I've read this like 10 times over.
The guy who did the audiobook would like change voices. So
like slow it down.
So it's like, when everybody would talk about how confusing it was, I was like, man, that audiobook, like it carried me to understanding it.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're talking about Interior Chinatown, LCC's Beyond the Book.
Yeah, you should read it. That's
definitely.
great.
Get it now.
Not sponsored, but we like to be.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about where you're headed next.
Okay, so right now I'm obviously just going to LCC for 2 years, and I want to be a preschool teacher, which not a lot of people obviously want to do because they don't like children, like my mom and my sister and my family.
But they had
was like,
children.
are
Your
you
mom
sure?
had children.
Right, yeah. She goes, but it was because she knows I'm patient, but not so patient. So she knows
You'll grow
I have to,
into it.
I know, yeah, I know I have to like, I know I'm going to go into it, but all of my friends were like, are you sure? Like, you want to work with kids? Like, I don't think that's a good, like, you should
You're going
just
to have
be
to help
like,
them use the bathroom.
right. Yeah. So that's the only thing that I'm focusing on. And then obviously going to MSU for like 2 more years and then graduating and getting my bachelor's. But I feel like before I go to MSU, I feel like there's so many classes that I have to get or so many credits that I have to get done with at LCC. And I have a feeling that it's not going to take me 2 years. I have a feeling it's probably going to take me a little bit longer, like probably 3 years to get done with it. So right now we're like almost done with the first semester. And I was like, wow, that was so quick. And like for my next classes, I just like, I'm not good at math. Or any of you guys good at math? Because
I love math. Math is my best friend.
Yeah, total opposite.
I know.
Total opposite.
Whenever I
Math-
say that, people look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, Kaylee's had to help me through this semester.
No, literally.
of college.
I'd be in class, she's like,
yeah, math is not my strong suit. Math is not my friend. No. So I'm definitely looking into some tutoring next year because like I'm really gonna be
what's
needing
the
that.
guy's name? Like the tutor guy? Do you know him in our class?
I
was
don't
like,
know his name,
we
but
can
he's
recommend
chill.
him.
Yeah, he
We'll ask him his name, and then we can recommend.
Okay,
because he's really nice.
definitely. So obviously next semester, like we're done with this semester, almost done. We only have a week left. A week
Yeah.
left
Oh my
and 1 day.
Oh my god, I'm just
That's so crazy.
the stress, like going from like once like after like November hit, it was just like chaos. Like it's just so stressful.
Yes.
So Caylee, tell us where you're headed next.
I'm going towards the nursing route.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm not
Yay.
really for sure because like right now I'm going towards the nursing route, but I'm thinking about becoming an anesthesiologist.
Oh.
So yeah.
But wait, what's that? I don't know.
So
what that
basically,
is.
you know, like surgery, you know how the people that put you under, that's an anesthesiologist.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm thinking about that, but I'm not really for sure. But I know I want to help people. So I'm like, even if I like don't decide to become an anesthesiologist, at least I'm going like towards like the
Towards
nursing program.
nursing.
So like if I just like change my mind, I'm like, I can just be a nurse. Like, and then me and my sister can work together.
Okay, cool. Layla, what about you?
I mean, I don't fully know what I really want to do, but I mean, I'm thinking about trying to like be an art therapist for like not children, but kind of like, you know, the age where you
Just-
know what therapy is.
Okay.
'Cause,
Yeah.
like,
So like maybe like 16 or like older.
maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 12 and up or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, you know, I feel like a lot of the problems start when you're young, and like being able to help like tackle those things before they become big problems for people, I feel like is important. And, you know, I love art. And so if I can like use that as a way to help
Incorporate
people.
it into your job. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
then,
think-
I
like-
think that's really cool if you do
Yeah.
go into that. It's really like interesting. interesting.
Yeah,
That sounds great.
I've loved psychology this semester. It's been so fun to learn all the different things. And so I spoke to my teacher about it, and she recommended like a college in Detroit and stuff like that. So
Oh, that's good.
Nice. Well, thanks a lot for joining me today, you guys.
course.
yeah,
Of
thank
course.
you.
Great, thank
It's
you.
a cool experience. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed doing this.
Thank you for listening to our talented poets and authors.
Until next time, this has been Washington Square on Air.
where we showcase selections from Lansing Community College's literary journal
The Washington Square Review,
A publication featuring writers from the Great Lakes State.
across the nation.
and around the world.
To find out more about the Washington Square Review,
Visit lcc.edu/WSR.
We hope you enjoyed listening.
as much as we enjoyed sharing.